Alrighty, second trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps. It has been released. It was released on Thursday, April 17th, and we are here to talk about my thoughts on the second trailer for the newest MCU film, or, the one that's coming after Thunderbolts. And there is a lot riding on these two films, because I'm not going to even say at this point, I think Marvel really needs to nail those two films and Avengers Doomsday for us to really get back on board. I think if that happens, I think there will be some genuine excitement coming out of people from the MCU. If a couple of those are shaky and Avengers Doomsday is fine, I think we're just going to kind of be back in this malaise of, things are hit and miss, whatever, and we go from there. So I think that Thunderbolts, which I'm excited about, and Fantastic Four First Steps, I'm excited about, need to really hit. And so we've gotten a second trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, just to quickly recap my thoughts for the first little trailer, I don't know if it was a teaser, but the first trailer, I really enjoyed it. I thought, okay, how are we going to make this work? Because I see Matt Shakman doing his Matt Shakman thing with, he must have learned a lot from WandaVision with Jack Schaefer. And he's a good director. He's a really good director. That, we're going back to this retro style, right? Being able to capture this retro 1960s futuristic vision. Just kind of like how he was able to capture all those sitcom era stylistic choices from WandaVision, right? So I was interested in that. I saw the vision. I think it was unique rather than just having these characters pop up in the MCU. I think that was super interesting, right? So I was on board with that. But I was still curious, the Fantastic Four just seemed unsolvable in terms of feature-length films. And it was a question of how are we going to get that done? So first trailer came out, and I was really impressed. I really enjoyed that. And I said in my initial trailer reaction that what I was most impressed by was the family aspect, right? Because the line that really got to me was that, I think Sue Storm says, I turn invisible now, but I'm still here, right, is what she said. And of course she ends the trailer, she says it in the second trailer as well, that we're going to do this as a family. And to me, if you keep that as the crux, as the emotional center of this franchise, I think you're already on a good path forward. So I think that was good. Second trailer comes out, and honestly, to be honest, it was very similar to the first trailer, and I think that's not a bad thing at all. It's just a statement, observation that we saw a lot of the similar things. We saw the cooking scene. We see extensions of scenes that we saw in the first trailer, as well as a couple little new things, like for example, things we knew. For those of us who have been following the MCU and following these rumors and quote-unquote leaks or footage descriptions or whatnot, I've tried to avoid them, but you kind of catch things here and there. So at the beginning of the trailer, you see that they're kind of on a talk show. They're being introduced as the Fantastic Four heroes, right, of this universe, and Matt Shakman has confirmed that they are the only heroes in their own universe. So that's exciting, right? And we get to see that they're celebrities. They're beloved, right? And they are really role models for a lot of people. And I think that's a really cool thing. I love the little B-roll kind of camera footage shots of people thanking the Fantastic Four. I think that's really cool. I also think that the revelation that Sue Storm is pregnant, it means a lot for us who have been following comic books and who know the implications of Franklin Richards and it's not Franklin Richards. Is it Franklin Richards? I can't remember the son's name, but the child's name. But obviously originally it was probably going to be very important because of Nathaniel Richards, who is a descendant of Reed Richards, who is a version of Kang the Conqueror. That's obviously not in play right now, but I'm sure that the kid's still going to be very important. It's called First Steps, right? It's an allusion to the baby. So I think that's an interesting revelation to make here. I like Johnny. Joseph Quinn gets to talk a little bit more in this trailer. I don't know if I'm sold on him yet. I think I'm the most sold, honestly, out of the four on Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Is that a big surprise? I think he's probably the most talented actor of the group. Eben Moss-Bachrach is great, but he's, the thing, right? Motion capture. But Pedro Pascal, every time he talks, I'm like, wow, that is Mr. Fantastic. I love it. So Sue Storm, Vanessa Kirby, great. Joseph Quinn, I need to see a little bit more. Eben Moss, he's the thing. He's cool. I like the lift the car little gag that they have going on there. But we also get a little bit more of not the story, but the sense of the stakes, right? It is a very, we've gone back to, and I don't think this is a bad thing for this movie. We've gone back to the world is at stake kind of deal. The universe is at stake because Galactus is coming. And Silver Surfer, we get to see our first shots of Shia LaBeouf, played by Julia Garner, and she looks great. Yeah, looks like Silver Surfer. I was curious to see, Silver Surfer is such an iconic design, and I don't know if you could change it that much. It's just a person painted silver, basically riding a surfboard. I don't know how else you're going to change that. And sure enough, that's exactly what she is. So, I think that's totally fine. And I think that, I love the shots where Joseph Quinn's Human Torch is flying into space and trying to grab the surfboard and gets kicked off. I think again, A lot of the things that I'm seeing in this trailer are really good. We see Mr. Fantastic stretching for the first time. Looks good. Looks really good. So I'm excited. I will say all of these things came together in the trailer package, and it's not my favorite trailer of all time. And I'm just talking as, you know, a combination of trailer as an art form, right? A combination of all these things to come together as a trailer, because I do believe that trailers in themselves can be little mini pieces of art. And I enjoyed the trailer, but it wasn't my favorite thing of all time. I don't think that this really raised the ceiling for me in terms of how excited I am. But I will say, it continues to get me excited. It didn't do anything to dissuade me, right? It's not like the Minecraft movie where somehow, inexplicably, the trailers somehow became worse and worse and worse to me. I still, as a side note, I'm still considering watching the movie. We'll have to see if that happens. But, based on the viral reaction from the movie, that's a whole other topic of conversation. But I'm very, very excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. We should, of course, end this segment by talking about Galactus stomping around. And look, on the one hand, I think there's a sense in which this movie could be very goofy, right? Because, I mean, giant Galactus with, giant guy just walking around like the BFG from Roald Dahl and just hanging out with a big thing on his head. I don't know. I mean, there's a sense in which that could be very, very silly. The Fantastic Four's powers are kind of random, right? Stretching, invisibility, rocks, and fire, just kind of random. But I think that there is a real earnestness with which the trailer is presenting these characters. And I think that that's the most encouraging thing to me, is that, it seems like they're not trying to make fun of these characters. It's just earnest, right? And I think the sooner that the audience is able to get on board with that, the better. So I'm excited about that, and we will see where we go from there. Guys, what did you think about the second trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps? Let me know in the comments down below.